Startup gurus constantly insist that a pitch deck needs to be a cinematic masterpiece, but the document that helped launch one of the most valuable companies in history looked like a middle school PowerPoint. The conventional rules of fundraising are rigid. Founders are told they need a dedicated problem slide, a multi-trillion-dollar total addressable market, and pixel-perfect design to even get a meeting. But if you actually step inside a venture capital boardroom, you'll find that the reality is far more brutal. Investors sit through dozens of pitches every single week. If they have to spend 10 seconds deciphering a confusing layout, a founder's credibility evaporates. So how did Facebook, using a deck that broke almost every established rule and was originally just a media kit for selling ad space, manage to raise $500,000 in seed funding? Because investors don't fund slides, they fund conviction. Facebook's deck succeeded because its plain, blunt format forced the reviewer to focus on the data, preemptively checking off investor concerns before they were ever voiced. The first silent objection sitting in the back of every investor's mind is simple: are you delusional about your market? Startups are routinely told to project a massive global target audience by slide 3 to prove they have ambition. Looking at this audience slide, Facebook did the exact opposite. They pointed to a highly constrained, specific demographic, exactly 15 million college students in the United States. To prove they could capture that demographic, they backed it up with a methodical expansion plan. This table shows their exact launch dates, systematically moving through Harvard, Columbia, Yale, and the rest of the Ivy League over the course of just 2 months. Moving to the next list, we see that initial success wasn't a fluke. They laid out the exact same rapid rollout schedule, successfully replicating at schools like Stanford, MIT, and NYU. By showing a rollout that worked identically at Yale as it did at Harvard, Facebook proved their growth was a repeatable process rather than a hopeful projection. Once an investor believes your market is real, their next silent objection is about longevity. Is this just a passing fad that users will abandon next month? Standard vanity metrics, like a quick spike in initial signups, rarely answer this question. In fact, relying on them often triggers immediate red flags for venture capitalists. Facebook bypassed vanity metrics entirely. Looking at this site usage data, they showed raw behavioral retention. An astounding 65% of their users logged in daily, and 95% logged in monthly. Doing the math on their page view metrics reveals the intensity of that usage. With 70,000 students generating 90 million monthly page views, every single user checked the site more than 40 times a day. They then reinforced this hard data with objective, third-party qualitative proof. This excerpt from the Stanford Daily confirms what the math implies. Classes are being skipped, work is ignored, and students are spending hours in front of the computer. When a student body is logging in 40 times a day, the platform has moved past being an optional service and becomes a central piece of their daily routine. The final unvoiced objection comes down to execution. Do you actually understand your own product, or are you just chasing trends? If you read this breakdown of their networking features, there is a complete absence of tech buzzwords. Instead, they provide plain English functional definitions, like simply displaying all the students enrolled in a given course. Continuing with a literal mechanics, this text explains how the platform automatically pulls in school news articles and user away messages. It does the heavy lifting of explaining exactly how the social loop actually works. Now, this deck isn't completely flawless. It lacks a buyer persona, explaining who actually purchases the ads. But when you have undeniable user traction, you can afford a minor gap. This level of extreme clarity eliminates the need for a live demo. It immediately signals to the reviewer that the founders have a masterful, practical grip on their core utility. Facebook's early pitch materials didn't try to distract investors with graphic design. They made the reviewer's job incredibly easy by being blunt and specific. A great deck presents a narrative so logical and supported by facts that the case for investment builds itself. Before you send your own materials to an investor, you need to run them through the 30-second test. Ask yourself, if all the body content and charts blurred out, could a complete stranger understand your entire business using nothing but the bold titles of your slide in half a minute? That first clarity test is completely free. But to truly anticipate a venture capitalist's every move, founders need a proven framework built on investor psychology. That's why we built the comprehensive toolkit linked in the description below. For $497, you get our VC-ready 16-slide pitch deck, paired with a 16-page VC instruction guide that breaks down exactly what investors are looking for on every single page. It comes with lifetime updates and 0 recurring fees. Use the link below to access the full toolkit and frame your own venture with the same strategic clarity used by the team in 2004.